Hello everyone and welcome to Magic Gathering Strat. This will be a Cons of Tarkir 8-4 and we have opened a pretty sweet pack. We have Debilitating Injury, which is pretty good. I like it. A land, Arrow Storm, which is decent. Mistfire Weaver is also good. So is Death Frenzy. But I think I'll pick my Mythic here. Surgo is pretty good and yeah, I mean, he sets us into a clan right away, but I think it's possible to go main two colors and a little of the last one, and if for example white and black are more open than red, I'll be playing white black with a red splash. Here unfortunately the best cards are red and black, so that's a little minus, but what can you do? Ooh, this pack. Bear's Companion is pretty good. We could look at going more than 3 colors. We have Nomad Outpost, which I think I will take. It's a bit early, but I think you have to. Debilitating Injury again, still very good. Ancestor good, Killshot is good, but I will take the land. Shipping more signals that Marduk could be open, which is unfortunate, but alright. Decent pack. Team Charm I think is pretty good, but it's not for me. I'm looking at the Skull Hunter mainly. Scavenger is also good, but I think Skull Hunter is more what I want to do. Be more aggressive. And he's a pretty good 2-drop. He's even good just to be played as a regular 2-drop without a raid trigger. But if I can pick up like another Skull Hunter or two and a Disowned Ancestor, that would be sweet. Okay, let's see here. We have another triple land, which would be fun to go more than 2 colors. I haven't tried it out yet. It looks like I will be taking Arrow Storm though. Could also take Feed of Resistance. It's actually very good. Maybe I take that over Arrow Storm. I found this to be a bit clunky. I think Feed of Resistance is better, but I'm also tempted to take this and go like 5 colors. Just take the best card out of every pack. Then Skull Hunter was not a very good pick, of course. I'm gonna stick with Feed of Resistance, I think. Alright, we got another land. Bring Low, which is okay. Snowhorn Rider and a Throttle. I think I'll pick the land here. It will make my mana very good, so I can pick whatever I want later. Alabaster Kirin or Defiant Strike. I think the Kirin is better, but not by much. At least in this deck. Do I want a Witness, a Despise, or a War Shrieker? I think 4-drops is the most replaceable. I think I just want a Morphere. Ooh, that's a late Martyr Charm. Yeah, I'm gonna pick that up. I think it's a really good charm for limited actually. And a very late land. Don't mind if I do. So it looks like red will be our splash just by looking at it. Black could also be the splash, but then I'm not that interested in more the Skull Hunter. And that also makes me a bit hesitant to cards like Summit Prowler and Arrow Storm. Do I take the Defiant Strike here? Rush of Battle works with warriors. I have 1, 2. I think I just take the Defiant Strike here. Here we take Foiled Swamp. Sure, we can take raid enabler. This is not a good one drop. It is actually pretty terrible, but it enables raid, so if I get like 3 skull hunters I might run it. I mean it will always be a 1-1 for 1 basically. Activating this will never happen basically, and even if it does, it's not that great. For 4 mana you can trade your 1 drop for their 2 drop and maybe 1 damage or something. Not what I want to be doing with my mana. I like the mana base, it's pretty excellent. I don't see myself playing this, but I have done stranger things before. I'm not gonna play a banner. I can pass it. Maybe someone else will play it. I don't think I have lost a game yet where my opponent has cast a banner. It doesn't do anything and it takes up... I mean, in some game I've gone like 2 drop into morph and then I've gone nothing into banner. Yeah, right, you get to play your 5 drop on turn 4, but you have lost like 8 life or something in the process. You're too far behind. Blood-soaked champion. Interesting. And basically nothing else that I'm interested in. Take up arms could be cool. We could splash a yes guy charm, I guess. Yeah, blood-soaked champion seems perfect. Not only does he trigger raid, he has a raid trigger of his own. Another treasure cruise, which we can't take. A horde chief. I think it's a pretty good card. Saddle brute and a deflecting palm. I don't really like deflecting palm in pauper, I mean. So I think it's between the saddle brute and the horde chief. And I actually think horde chief is better. I mean, this is bigger and so stuff, but horde chief is pretty good. I hadn't fault anyone for taking the saddle brute, but I'm confident that we will get all the 4-drops we can stand without trying. Maybe not as good as that one, but yeah. I mean, Alabaster Crane is not that far behind. Ooh, Ice Feather Aven. I haven't got to try that card out for myself yet. Absent Charm is also really good, and we could splash it. But I think we'll stick to our colors and pick a Enoch Bonkin. I think it's a really good 2-drop too. Maybe we can get 1 or 2 more Outlast cards. So many times when I played Steel and stuff, I've cut the Bonkin, even if I've been in white, because I've been so heavy of the other colors. Like I played an Absan deck in Super Sunny series in Madrid, and I was really heavy green and black, and only had white for like kill shot and some of the triple color cards. And I had a chunk of 2-drops and I didn't know what to cut, and it felt so wrong to cut this, but I wouldn't have white as reliably as the other colors. So here we have another land, and I don't think we need to pick it. We have a Snowhorn Rider which we could splash if we want to, a kill shot, and a Chief of the Scale. And I think this is a chief pick. Warrior, warrior, soldier, warrior, makes warrior, warrior. Yeah, I think we can try to go into that. How many removals do we have? We have a half, 1, yeah, not too many, but try to have good creatures. I'm still looking for a disowned ancestor or 2 to replace the Firehoof. Here we have nothing and opponent back brigade. Easy pick. I found that aggressive strategies is really good in Khans of Tarkir, and that makes me a bit sad because I like to play control. But what can you do? And also I don't expect much black out of this pack, considering we passed like 2 debilitating injuries to our left. And that's too bad because I would have loved them in this deck, but we took better cards over them. This pack contains not much. I mean, Salt Road Patrol is okay, but that's also it. Defiant Strike is not really that much better, but it cycles. It's hard to go wrong with a cycling card. Could also take Ramparts, but I think it's pretty weak. We could splash Death Frenzy, I guess. I'm gonna pick another Defiant Strike. Alright, this is more like it. At least we have some cards in our colors. Unfortunately, I don't think we can play the Ambusher. I mean, we could play it as the 2-drop, but we won't have that much red. I'd much rather be in black, even though black isn't directly flowing. I think I'll pick a Harrier. It's not the strongest morph, but it's still a morph. So what do I want to open in my last pack? Probably Sorin would be nice. If I can just choose a card. Wingmate Rock would be decent too. Alright. Yeah, I think this is a Rite of the Serpent pick. And this is basically where I want to pick them up pretty late, because it is not the best removal ever. Against this deck, for example, it's horrible. We get some tokens and fast creatures and protection spells. It's way too slow against this deck, for example. Here I think I will pick up Jeskai Student. He will not be at his best in this deck, but we need more 2-drops, and with Defiant Strike is actually pretty good. So cards I would like to replace if I can, if I get enough playables, is Firehoof Cavalry, Jeskai Student, and like Sage Eye Harrier. Here we have nothing and a Despise, and I guess we take that. We could take the Sultai Charm so no one else get to play it. I'd rather take a card that I might play. Yeah, here I'll take another land. Enables a potential green splash. Sure, a morph is a morph. Erase for the sideboard. Act of Treason for the sideboard, and a forest. Alright. Act of Treason is good against like that turtle stuff. The one that exiles itself when it's attacking and so on, because you get permanent control of it. Oh, hello. Uncle Rares. I've heard that. It's a good plan. Yeah, I will clearly take Butcher of the Horde. An undercosted flyer with upside. What more could you possibly ask for? If Butcher wasn't here, I would probably take Ponyback Brigade. It is a very strong card and it doesn't have much competition here. I could see splashing one of the Absent cards, maybe. Yeah, but it's no way I'll leave Butcher of the Horde behind here. And then there's this pack with nothing. Absolutely nothing. The only card that I can even consider is Throttle or the land, and since I'm kind of light on removal, I guess Throttle would do. This is a card I haven't tried out yet. Do I want an Ankle Shankler? It's also Bondkin here, which just happens to be very good. Who am I kidding? I'm gonna try out the Ankle Shankler. I haven't tried it, so it might be horrible, it might be really good. I can see how this card is good if you have like 2 or 3 other creatures and are on the offensive, but I can also see it being one of the worst 5-drop in the history of Magic. Alright, nothing. Ooh, Hateblade I'm pretty interested in. But there's the Shift of the Edge, so we'll pick that up. Gonna move the lands to the board so I can see here. Alright. It's time to start the cutting. How many warriors do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Not too many. So we have a Krumor Bonkin, which I think is pretty good, and we have a Ponyback Brigade, which I think is also pretty good. I think I'd rather have the Brigade. And we can start the cutting, and I think right now it's the Tracker because it's not a warrior and I don't like him in this deck. We will be playing. Yeah, I think I'd rather have Firehoof Cavalry over it because I want to be able to trigger raid. Here, do we take another Rite of the Serpent? I guess so. We might need it. Oh, there's a Goblin Slide, a bit late I think. I really don't need another Rite of the Serpent. I don't need a Goblin Slide either. Not gonna play Abomination. Guess I picked the land. Shambling Attendants could actually be pretty good in this deck, since we don't have any other delve cards. And another Ponyback Brigade, I'll still play them over a lot of the other morphs. Sure, a sideboard card. Yeah, whatever, sideboard card. Guess I pick another sort of sideboard card. Shipping the banners, and got a banner anyway. Okay, we need to cut some cards, but I think we have a pretty strong deck here. Or at least we have the pieces to build a pretty strong deck. Ankle Shankler with Ponyback Brigade has to be decent. I can see this coming in for a surprise attack so it doesn't die, and then the next turn have like Feet of Resistance up. And as I have found many times, I picked the lands early over good cards, but I still got plenty of playables, and that is because of the card quality in a three color set, and also the amount of playable cards you get when you're in 3 colors are higher. So was that every spell? Yeah. So we got our removal suit is not perfect. I would have loved to trade like a Rite of the Serpent for a debilitating injury or something. I think we're running the Defiant Strikes. They're not fantastic in this deck though. Maybe they're too bad. I think we have to run the Despise. I think we also have to run the Firehoof Cavalry. I guess we don't have that many. Actually, we will not be playing that. We have 1 raid that it would enable on turn 2, and it has 1 raid that it would enable on turn 3. So that can get a cut. It's just too bad. So we will not be filling up our graveyard that fast, but I think it's okay. 3/5 Death Touch is still decent. I'm not cutting my 2-drops. I think I need them all. The Ponyback Brigades are here to stay. I could cut like 1 more creature, I think. And that is probably the Harrier. I think it's the weakest. Then I'm gonna cut one Rite of the Serpent. Maybe one Defiant Strike. Or will this deck survive on 17 lands? I think so. Add basics. 5 mountains for 1, 2, 3, 4 plus the no. Maybe 1 mountain. That gives us 4 red sorcerers. Once every 10th card. Yeah, maybe we can run 2 mountains. I'm gonna add those for now. So we are a tad more white than we are black. Yeah, but not by much. I think it's actually exactly the same. I think we can run 1 more mountain and then the duels. That gives us 5 red sources, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 black sources, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 white sources. Yeah, I think that's okay. We get a lot of the card I was looking for the most was Raider Spoil. Not that we have that many warriors, but we still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and those makes warriors, and this also makes warriors. So I think we could have made it if we had one. But alright, this will be the deck. I will see you shortly for game.